Today I'm going to talk about China and United States. There's been a renewed talk regards to America versus China. This after ishowspeed, the one of the biggest streamers in the world, visited China. So there's he's been showing every part of China, how advanced China is, how developed China is, and how in the future China still is. For somebody who have visited China, and I visited China for the, I think, I don't know if I've said it on this channel. If you go back to my old videos, and the old video, I think I mentioned something about my visit to China. I have a lot of stories to talk about my China visit. I visited China September 2005 for the first time, and ever since I've been to China three times or four times. My recent travel visit was probably 10 years ago. 10 years ago. So, and this is what I'm trying to talk about. This is that China have achieved things that took most countries 100 years to achieve. China achieved it in a generation. Then the competition now is China more developed than America? Actually, that's the topic of today's video. Is China more developed than America? I will tell you that I will explain to you. China is more advanced than America in terms of modern infrastructure, modernity, in terms of science, technology. They are surging ahead of the United States. But in terms of development, for somebody who have been to China, lived in China, and as a matter of fact, I don't know if I'll get in trouble. This is my passport visa stamped, China visa stamped on it. So I don't know if it's legal to do that, but that's to show you guys I've been to China. And then the reason why I'm trying to say this is that China, okay, China is not more developed than America. In innovation, modern things, if certain things took, if development took America 10 years due to technologies, science they have at that time to develop, it's taking China 2 years. Because when I went to China, first time I went to China, China doesn't have any subway underground. China doesn't have any underground subway. That I can tell you for a fact. They don't have any underground subway that I know of. When I came to China, they were starting to build their first underground subway in Guangzhou. It was like uh, 5 minutes to my hotel. I was there, I witnessed it, the whole thing. So, and I have proof. I have proof that I was there when they started their first subway train. Now they have the biggest and the most beautiful subway line in the whole world, better than Japan. So, China, in terms of today, like I see America as old money, and then China is new money. So, China is developed. Do I think the only thing is after America is China? Just put it in that perspective. There are certain things about China that I like, and there are certain things I don't like about China. There are certain things about America that I like, and there are certain things about America I don't like. But if you ask me overall, I will still choose America, and I'll explain to you why. In China, safety, China is the most peaceful, most safest place you can travel to in China, in the whole world. My hand on the Bible. China, I can quote you. I remember when I went in 2008. I went to China in 2005 and 2008, second trip in 2008. This is when the whole recession was about to hit. I was coming from a club like that, walking down the dark alley road at night, me and a friend, and I see young girls doing the same thing, just on their phone, going home. This road is very narrow and dark, and the road we have in every big cities. I tell my friend, you will never see a girl walking in this path, this kind of a road at night in America. It will never happen. And it's just fact. So safety is very, 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 very guaranteed in China. They don't mess around when it comes to crime. So that I would choose China over America. Then in terms of freedom, you know, one thing about China is China people comes first. America is a land where you can be a nobody in your fucked up country where you're coming from, and you come to America. The next 5 to 10 years, boom, you are bigger than anybody else. That's America for you. That's what makes America amazing. Amazing. Then you don't have that in China. I have Nigerians that own businesses. I have Nigerians that own businesses in China. Mostly they are mostly in food and catering businesses, and then clothing, fashion business. That's what most Nigerians are, and even Africans. You know, so but here is the catch. In China, you can never be a citizen. You see, and then if you want to open a business, you can't just open a business on your name. So what these Nigerians that I know of, what they do is that they will befriend a Chinese girl, you know, gain the Chinese girl will gain their trust, and then they'll open their business on her name. She'll be the front owner, but behind the scene, those Nigerians are the real owner. Because I remember, I went to the most shocking aspect of this is I went to a restaurant called Wanyu Newi in Guangzhou, China. If you go to Guangzhou, ask Wanyu Newi restaurant, they will tell you, they will show you where it is. I went over there to eat Nigerian food, walk down from my hotel, boom, boom, to the place is about 10 minutes walk. I went there to eat. I saw Chinese people cooking egusi soup, cooking fufu. I was like, whoa, what is going on here? So, and it was owned by Nigerians. So what they did is that they opened that restaurant, teach those people how to do those food, and they do it well. I remember eating the food. It doesn't taste different than the one I eat back home in Nigeria. And it was cooked by Chinese girls and Chinese people. So that's what Nigerians are doing. Most Nigerian guys that own business there, that's what they do. And sometimes they marry those girls to make sure that the girl will not, cheat them or take their money and, to gain their trust or something like that. So, but such a thing, you don't have to go through all that hustle in America. In America, America is, you come in, if you have your green card, you can use it, and start a life until you get citizen after 5 years. But China, no. So on that note, I give it to America. In terms of other things, I'm not going to go into this. There are parts where America is better, and but overall, as I said earlier, I will choose America. My second option, if there is any other competition, I would say China, because China is for people like us. China is a place you have to visit, stay for a couple of months, and come back. It's not a place you can stay and start a life. It's not. It's not. You can just go stay. Because whenever I go, I get a 90 days visa. The last trip was 60 days because I have to go to another country. That's why I only stayed for only 2 months. Last trip I went to China. So what China have achieved in the recent time need to be studied. And another thing I want to say is that it is not fair. They're not being given credit. China feels like they are not giving credit for what they have achieved, and that's true. I'm not a communist. I don't really believe in the communist doctrine. It's one of the things too. I choose America. At the end of the day, I still believe that democratic rule is the best policy, and then communism, no. Even though if you are not from the outside looking in, you would think that China is run by street communists. No, they practice capitalism. This will be the shocker of you will never know. China practice capitalism in its pure definition of capitalism. But the problem with the capitalism is that they have a strong oversight, communism oversight. Like is the at the end of the day, the boogeyman. That's what communism is. So if you are wealthy, that's why some wealthy Chinese people they become billionaires made a shit ton of money, if they feel like they can't even express themselves the way they want, they have some. Usually, they will leave the country, go to Canada or Hong Kong. So, yeah, don't let, even as a matter of fact, during Mao Zedong, former Chinese president or premier, whatever they call it, when he was around, Russia and China was not getting along because Russian communism is, they don't, Chinese don't agree with it. They differ on the type of communism, and guess what? Guess which communism survived? It's the Chinese version. So the point of making this video is to differentiate, you know, success rate between those countries. China have succeeded. Is China eventually going to surpass America in the future? Yes, but it all depends on how America handle itself. So if America don't get it act right and start to remodel America, remaking America, rebranding America for the future, eventually China was going to take over, because China have everything it takes. They have the money, they have the people, they have the geography. So yeah, that's the video, man. I want to actually let you guys understand that I've been to China, and whenever I'm talking about China, I'm talking about from a place of experience, 4 times on a row. So from 2025, actually, I forgot to tell you guys, the first time I went to China for Guangzhou Expo. There's an event called Guangzhou Expo. It's always around October. And I don't know if they still do it. So that's the reason why I went. There was a small business I was representing at that time. So we went there and I experienced China for the first time. And then I saw it coming. When I came back and started, you can imagine what everybody's figuring out now. I was telling people about it back in 2018, 2008, 2009. This is a very long time ago. I was telling people, look, this country is moving fast, and I'm glad that ishowspeed and other influencers are, now showing the world what me and other few people have seen, almost 20 years before now. So yeah, if you have anything to add to this video, have you been to China? Or what's your experience when you went to China? Share your thoughts on the comment section. If you have anything to just add to this video, all right. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, and turn on the notification button on. All right. See you guys on the next one. Bye bye.